The fall of Sol. The sky above Earth burned. Xylar warships, monstrous things of bone and black metal, descended through the upper atmosphere like vultures circling a dying animal. Earth's orbital defenses were already gone, shattered by precision strikes that bypassed shields, shredded hulls, and silenced centuries of Terran advancement in minutes. From orbit, Earth looked defenseless. From the ground, it looked doomed. The emergency broadcast flickered across every screen, every channel, every frequency. This is Admiral Hensley of the United Earth Command. Our fleet is destroyed. Civilian evacuation is no longer possible. We call upon the Galactic Council for immediate aid. Earth will not survive without reinforcements. Silence answered. Not from jamming, from indifference. The Galactic Council, with its web of treaties and self-proclaimed stewardship of the galaxy, had already voted Earth was not worth saving. Not at the cost of war with the Xylar Horde. Not when human ambition had so often annoyed their delicate sense of superiority. Earth would burn, and yet one ship remained. Far from the collapsing front lines, hidden in the shadow of a dead moon, a battered dreadnought powered up its aging fusion core. She was called the Titan, a relic from the Outer Rim Wars, retrofitted in secret by Earth's Black Project Division. She was ugly, over-engineered, and long believed to be scrap. But she was still alive. On her bridge, Captain Elias Ward stood in silence, watching Earth's pain through a cracked holoscreen. A deep scar ran from his temple to his jaw, souvenir from the last time the Xylar came close to humanity. This time, they were going to finish the job. Not if he had anything to say about it. We've lost contact with Mars. Europa's gone dark. Xylar mothership is charging a planet cracker, reported Commander Rhea Morgan, her voice tight but steady. We're outnumbered 500 to 1, and we've got a crew of 80. Ward nodded slowly. 80's enough. A low murmur passed through the bridge. They don't expect us to fight, he said. They expect us to beg, to surrender, to die quietly. We're going to disappoint them. Juno Sparks Kwan, the ship's chief engineer, chimed in from engineering. Fusion cores online. Weapons are jury-rigged, but functional. Reactor might hold, might not. Better odds than Earth, Ward said. He turned to his young helmsman, Ensign Malik Vega, barely 19, his hands still shaking from watching his family's evacuation transport explode on the monitors. Plot a course straight into the Xylar fleet. We go now. Malik hesitated. Sir, we're just one ship. Ward's eyes narrowed. Exactly. One ship. That's all we need to make them bleed. As the Titan surged forward, her thrusters igniting like the last spark of a dying flame, Earth watched. And for the first time in days, hope flickered. Not because humanity had allies, but because humanity had the Titan. Into the maw of the Horde. The Xylar fleet was a wall of death, stretching across the void like a plague in motion. Dozens of hive ships, each the size of cities, moved in perfect synchronicity, their bioorganic hulls pulsing with malevolent energy. At their center loomed the mothership, a living fortress bristling with planet-killer weapons and writhing tendrils that distorted space around it. The Titan charged directly toward it. She's seen us, Commander Rhea Morgan said, hands flying over her console. Xylar warships are locking weapons. Let them, Captain Ward growled. Full burn. Bring us into the blind spot between those two cruisers. Then cut thrust. The Titans surged ahead, flying low across a debris field, twisted wreckage of destroyed Terran ships. Missiles from the Xylar chased them, but Ward knew their timing. At the last second, he ordered a hard pitch downward. The missiles struck the wreckage instead, tearing the remnants apart. Incoming boarding pod, Sparks shouted from engineering. They're trying to latch. Let them, Ward muttered. Morgan, prepare the boarding team. Sending the old toys, she said with a smirk. The Xylar breached the outer hull, and were met by a dozen human marines in exo-armor, wielding projectile weapons, flame units, and one rig construction drone with a chainsaw arm. The alien invaders, adapted to energy warfare, were shredded in close quarters. Tangos neutralized, reported Sergeant Keller from the cargo bay. Next time, tell them to bring more bugs. The crew laughed grimly. Humor, thin as it was, kept fear at bay. Meanwhile, Ensign Vega navigated them into the shadow of a disabled Xylar frigate. Sparks rerouted coolant through scorched thrusters, masking their heat signature just long enough for a desperate plan to unfold. "Launch the pod," Ward ordered. A black, spherical stealth pod detached from the Titan's underbelly, gliding silently toward a mid-level Xylar command ship. On board were 6 operatives, engineers, soldiers, hackers, all volunteers. Their objective: insert a virus into the Xylar fleet's communications relay. The pod landed unnoticed. Inside the bio-hallways of the enemy, the strike team moved fast, planting disruptor mines and climbing through mucus-covered tunnels. Human boots had never touched a Xylar deck before. When the virus activated, the results were immediate. Xylar vessels began stuttering in formation. Targeting systems blinked. Orders were scrambled. A few cruisers even fired on each other in confusion. Ward grinned. Sometimes low-tech beats hive-tech. The Titan emerged from hiding, opening fire with kinetic railguns and gravitic torpedoes. It was brutal, surgical warfare, focusing on weak points no other species dared to exploit. The Galactic Council watched in stunned silence. A single Terran ship was dismantling a piece of the Horde. On an open frequency, Captain Ward spoke one sentence. "We are not dead. We're not afraid. And if we fall, we'll take hell with us." The galaxy heard him, and the Xylar finally understood. This wasn't just a fight. It was humanity's last stand, and they were going to make it unforgettable. The heart of the beast. The Xylar mothership loomed ahead like a dead god floating in the stars. Scarred by the Titan's earlier barrage, the alien fortress still pulsed with life, its surface constantly shifting as if the ship itself breathed. Its planet cracker weapon glowed ominously at the core, a sun waiting to be born and unleashed upon Earth. Captain Ward stood before the holomap, grim-faced. "This is a one-way run. We punch a hole, fly inside, and destroy the core from within. Anyone who wants out, now's the time." No one moved. Commander Morgan gave a sharp nod. "Then we finish this." The Titan accelerated at full burn, weaving between Xylar patrols. A new wave of fighters emerged from the mothership, but sparks overloaded the forward shields into a directed energy spike, blinding sensors long enough to breach the enemy hull. The Titan smashed through a soft point in the Xylar armor, crashing into the interior of the hive ship. The entire vessel reacted violently. Walls flexed, gravity twisted. It was like being swallowed whole. Ward and his strike team deployed immediately, each in reinforced armor with old-world kinetic rifles and incendiary grenades, equipment the Xylar couldn't adapt to. They advanced through twitching organic corridors, guided by schematics pulled from the hacked command ship earlier. The hive resisted. Alien drones poured in. Vega, now part of the boarding team, fought with desperate precision, protecting a wounded Marine with nothing but a sidearm and a combat knife. "We're close to the core chamber," Spark said over comms, breath ragged. "It's alive. The whole damn thing is breathing." They breached the final chamber and froze. Dozens of human captives lined the walls, their bodies fused into the Xylar architecture. Faces pale, eyes wide with pain. Their neural energy powered the planet cracker. Morgan stared in horror. "They're using them as fuel." "We can't detonate the bomb," Vega whispered. "We'll kill them all." Ward clenched his fists. "If we don't, the Xylar will kill billions." A moment's silence passed. Then Sparks, bleeding from a gash across her ribs, limped to the bomb. "I'll stay behind. I can reroute the charge. Delay the full detonation. Give the crew time to evacuate and give them peace." Ward stepped forward. "You're not alone in this." She smiled, shook her head. "Captain, you still have a galaxy to scare. Let me do this." There was no time to argue. The team retreated. Sparks stayed behind, hands working quickly, tears in her eyes as she whispered a goodbye to her ship. Minutes later, the Xylar mothership imploded in a brilliant cascade of light, the singularity bomb folding it inward, crushing its monstrous heart into nothingness. The Titan, heavily damaged but intact, was thrown clear by the shock wave, drifting powerless in the darkness of space. Earth had been saved, but deep in the void, the Titan floated alone, its lights flickering, its power gone. The crew, wounded, weary but alive, waited. And in the silence that followed, the galaxy listened. Because a single Terran ship had just destroyed the greatest weapon of the Xylar Horde. And that terrified everyone. Fear in the stars. Drifting in the cold silence of space, the Titan was a ruin. Her hull was scorched, half the ship was depressurized, and most systems were dead or barely functioning. Sparks was gone. Dozens of crew were injured or killed in the escape. They'd survived, but at a cost. On the bridge, dim emergency lights cast long shadows. Captain Ward sat in silence, staring at the broken screen where Earth's image used to be. Distress beacons active, Morgan said quietly. No answer from Earth yet. Xylar fleets scattered, but we've got movement in the periphery. Ward didn't flinch. More Xylar? No, she said, voice hard. Worse. Galactic Council ships. Sleek, silver behemoths emerge from hyperspace, forming a loose perimeter around the Titan. No weapons drawn yet. No communication yet. Just presence. Watching. Ensign Vega squinted at his console. They're scanning us. Repeatedly. Running simulations on our engagement with the Horde. They're afraid, Ward muttered. Morgan frowned. Of us. He turned slowly, his voice low but sure. We just did what no other race dared. We fought the Horde and won. Not with numbers. Not with Council backing. Just grit, chaos, and sacrifice. The Council's flagship sent a hail. Ward accepted it. The face of Counselor Veltrax, a Vortari with translucent skin and layered ocular ridges, appeared. Captain Ward, the Galactic Council acknowledges your impressive actions. The destruction of the Xylar mothership has shifted strategic balance. However, unilateral military action of this scale, unauthorized by Council decree, presents a dangerous precedent. Ward raised an eyebrow. You mean saving my species? Veltrax blinked slowly. You escalated a conflict many hoped to contain. Your existence, this ship, could destabilize fragile galactic equilibrium. Morgan scoffed. You're welcome. Ward leaned in. We asked for help. You let Earth burn. Veltrax's voice remained calm. And yet your people survived. The Council will deliberate. In the meantime, the Titan is to be impounded. Your crew will be detained for questioning. Ward muted the channel. Thoughts? He asked the bridge. Rhea Morgan replied first. They're scared of what humans just proved, that we don't need their permission to survive. They'll dissect us, Vega said bitterly. Not physically, politically. Bury the story, reframe the victory, erase Spark's sacrifice. Ward stood. No, he said. They want to control the legend of the Titan. Rewrite it, but we won't give them the chance. He turned to Morgan. Route minimal power to thrusters. Plot a jump to the far-reach colonies, somewhere dark, somewhere they don't control. We're running on fumes, Captain. Then we run on purpose. Slowly, the Titan turned, her engines sparking to life with everything her battered systems had left. The Council ships made no move to stop her. Ward broadcast one final message across open channels. Council, Horde, Earth, and beyond. We are the crew of the Titan. We are humanity's answer to extinction. If you threaten Earth again, we will return. And next time, we won't be alone. In the silence that followed, one truth echoed across the stars. The Empires didn't just fear the Xylar anymore. They feared the courage of the Titan's crew.